Chelsea and Tony live.
Mic check, mic check.
And today we're going to be reviewing your travel photos with the one, the only, the beautiful and smooth, the fresh and lovely Matt Granger. Woo!
Hi guys, can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. So Matt is joining us from Peru. How is it there?
It's good. I'm down in Puno. I just flew down last night, so I'm kind of dealing with elevation, but it's nice. Weather's good. Town's crazy. There's a festival going on, so it's a great atmosphere.
Oh, how high are you right now?
3,800 meters, about 12,500 feet.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So like almost 2.5 miles up in the air. That's really high. Like 10,000 feet is like a lot.
6 foot tall, so put that on.
Plus, yeah, plus 5'10", I would say. Yeah, we're being generous, aren't we, Matt?
Well, he wears a
sixth
platform.
floor if we're going to split hairs.
Are you on a photography workshop tour right now?
Nope, I'm here all by myself. I'm here to shoot the Candelaria Festival.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, that sounds really nice.
But you do have workshops coming up, right?
Yes, not to Peru this year. We've done about half a dozen here over the past half a dozen years. But we've got, I can see it on screen right now. Thanks for that. We've got Japan coming up in April, which is actually closing in like a week. So if anyone's keen, get on board. And then Laos, 10 to 21 of April. And then after that, we've also got Mongolia live, Summer Festival.
That does sound like fun. I have to join you on one someday. You ever do them over the summer?
Well, that's like June, July, right?
Oh, sorry. My attention skills are not the best. I'm going to take another sip of this beer.
Okay. We're reviewing your travel photos today, so you can go to sdp.io/submit to send them in. I'm going to say travel photos are not simply any photo that you take while traveling, but something that tells us something unique about the area or, you know, some particular piece of beauty that we'll appreciate.
A piece of beauty we'll appreciate.
A chunk of beauty.
Out. Next week, the 14th, it's Valentine's Day, so our theme is mood. The mood can be love. The mood could be loneliness. Just say it with a mood. Matt, did you just almost spit out your beer?
I did not. It's Inca Cola, by the way, but I just love that was the two poles that you went to. Not like anger or satisfaction or joy, just love and loneliness.
The two modes I feel.
If you have any questions for Chris, you can just write a comment, and our screener, if you have any questions for Matt, write a comment. Our screener, Chris, there will read them to us sometime during the show.
Yeah, we're not all here. I mean, Matt's at a high elevation, so he should be out of it. But for some reason, Tony and I cannot think straight. But you know what I do always know, Matt? That this show is brought to you by Squarespace. Yeah, perhaps you've never heard of it. It's not Round Place, it's Squarespace. And if you need a domain website or online store, you can make it happen so easily, guys. If you can drag and drop, if you got a couple dollars, if you just want a beautiful, professional-looking website, go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the offer code Tony to get 10% off.
Thanks, Squarespace. And if you have a portfolio, head to sdp.io/link and we will take a look at it in the middle of the show, maybe. You want to take a look at some pictures? Because I have a picture and it's literally Machu Picchu with, well, it's not a llama. Is it an alpaca or what's the other one?
I think it's a llama.
It's a llama.
It's a llama.
You do think it is a llama? Okay. I wish we had a little eye contact. Like you could make a sound like, and it would definitely look at you. Matt, what is your favorite sound to make a llama look at you?
Like a rustle, because they'll steal your food. Just monkeys with hooves. But much better for carpaccio than monkey. That's true.
I did eat one, and I thought of its beautiful little face. Matt, what do you think of this picture?
I agree with Tony. It's just got that enough eye contact that it doesn't trust the photographer, but not really enough to get a sense of it. So this is one of the rare situations where I've been to Machu Picchu enough times, apologies for the pronunciation, that I have a pretty good sense of where they were and where you can and can't step. And you're on kind of 2 or 3 foot wide ledges. You don't have a whole lot of room, and he probably couldn't even have walked past the Yama in this place. But I would have maybe tried to go to his left and then put the Yama on the mountain and the greenery. So then you've got the Machu Picchu not being blocked by it, and it's kind of looking at, to its left onto Machu Picchu.
Yeah, good suggestions. Just by like crouching down a little bit and moving the camera, I think you probably could have gotten a better angle on it. But it's a good excuse to go back, right, Peter? No problem at all. Also, like, be on that first shuttle to Machu Picchu, because that's when the good light is going to be.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay. First, this is the first thing I saw. The sensor dust.
Wow, that's
There's
the
no
first thing you
excuse for
saw?
that.
You have a dark heart. Is that the first thing you saw, Matt?
I just saw joy. Joy and gay pride. Actually, it takes about 10 seconds to load a clear render on my screen, so I just saw that there was a rainbow.
Double rainbow. Double rainbow.
Thoughts, Matthew?
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's a beautiful double rainbow. I don't know.
Are you going to ask Matt about his feelings?
Do you have any feelings, Matt, about the double rainbow?
I mean, it is there. I was filming something today, and that's, I think, the hardest part of travel photography, that you see something and it strikes you and it is beautiful, but you can't replicate that feeling you had in a picture. So it needs to be something really dramatic. So it's a cool double rainbow, but, for him, it was probably about the forest and the storm coming in. Was it him? Yep. And you've got the small township in the valley down there. So I don't know. This is probably a shot that would be great shot from a new generation drone hovering above the city and having the rainbow arced right over the center of the valley.
I think you guys have really valuable advice, but I'm really impressed by this. And it makes me happy to be alive.
I'll say Warren did a good job on the editing. I can see from the file name kind of tracing back his editing process. And it looks pretty natural. I know those rainbows can be really kind of hard to see in photos. Here's one of these. They'll sue you for copyright infringement if you try to sell this picture. Photos of the light show of the Eiffel Tower. I think it's very pretty. I wish there was something in the foreground. Like it's a very this is the tower. And what else? And that is kind of the challenge with these commonly photographed subjects. But you caught it at a cool time.
Any advice for these people, Matt?
I've not been to Paris for years. Have you guys been and seen the light show recently?
A few years ago.
It's been a few years, yeah.
I wonder if it goes off at the same time every night, or if it's, based on the time of year, so it gets darker later in summer and earlier in winter, that kind of thing.
I think they do it like every hour. It's on a regular basis. Like it happens a bunch.
Okay, so maybe the very first one when there's still some light in the sky, so you can get a little bit of a balance there.
Yeah, good
you
suggestion.
Can't really get a long exposure. Well, I guess you could do 2 exposures, one to get the light show and then a longer exposure to get the streaming clouds if you love stacking shots.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's just when you think of the challenge of travel, that things, and Eiffel Tower has to be number 1 on the list, it gets shot 50,000 times a day. It's going to have to be something spectacular to make people really wow.
Yeah.
What if we put the double rainbow from the last picture into this
and the
picture?
Yama.
Yeah, and the llama,
And the llama.
This tree here's got to go too.
Just cut
Yeah,
that.
I say Yama because I'm so local. I just wanted to point that out.
You're into that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yama.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm kind of skipping forward. Man, we've just been talking about seeing the Aurora Borealis. It's one of those bucket list things that we just haven't done.
Have you seen them, Matt? the Aurora?
I have, and to join the dots, a while back, you last 2 weeks, you did a portfolio review, I think, or you reviewed another of Marco's shots because I was in the chat section, and he's the guy you met at Photokina who offered to show you around Iceland, and he's been with me to Bhutan. So,
okay.
Hi, Marco. Nice to meet you.
Oh, Marco.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times in Iceland.
Thank you for telling us that because, Marco, we do want to go to Iceland, so maybe we'll take you up on that. Also, Marco said, say hi to Kate. So, hi, Kate.
Oh, what a sweetheart. Thank you. I will do.
Oh, yeah, you're Kate.
I assume so. Yeah. He knew I was, yeah.
The picture turned out.
Is that, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to provide some actual critique. I think the picture turned out awesome. It feels maybe a little imbalanced, like maybe we could get a little closer to the plane, not have the sort of light and perfect profile like that, but I think it's an awesome shot. It's also, these night shots are one of the things that you could actually improve with gear. Like if you were to pick up the Sigma 14 f1.8, you could definitely get the noise down a little bit, but the noise here isn't too distracting. It's just one of those things you could do. You could be shooting at like ISO 600 or something.
Wow, that's amazing.
Awesome shot, Marco. Miles High Club. This actually looks like it could be in Peru. I like that you provided the sense of scale here with the vehicle. It almost gives you a sense of kind of the nail-biting roads that they have, like the road to Machu Picchu, which can be really terrifying. What do you think, Matt?
It's hard to know where it is. It actually reminds me of roads in Bhutan. I was thinking maybe this was another one of Marco's ones. I really like it, and it's cool that the vehicle's just about to drive into the fog. I don't have a whole lot of composition or, shooting advice. Maybe you could just work on the edit if you wanted to. No, I mean, I even like the edit, so I don't really have much.
Yeah, the fog here really helps. It adds a lot of depth to it. Probably prevents it from just being a bunch of green. Okay, yeah, the shot just straight up feels overexposed. I think this is a popular format for travel photos where it's like, I visited this place, so here's a picture of me in front of it. The shopping bag, I think, should go. I think that really detracts me from it. Feel free to, change the outfits and the people and have them pose a little bit. And here I would actually get down a little bit lower so that the subject is moved up in the frame just to balance it out a little more, because like the whole bottom of the frame is mostly empty. What do you think, Matt? How do you handle these where somebody just wants like an evident shot that, hey, I was here and this place was cool?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And I am often, and I'm sure probably everyone in the comment section gets asked to take photos for strangers because you're walking around with a camera or two, so they figure you know how to use theirs or their phone. On one hand, it is great to have a person in the foreground. I think if you didn't have a person in the foreground of that shot, it would be incredibly boring. But yeah, it is just kind of we went here, we did shopping, then we went to grab a snack on the street type shot. There's nothing terribly creative about it.
This format's very popular on Instagram travel pages, and I think Instagram itself has managed to refine this a little bit. And one of the things they'll do is always add a bit of story. Like you'll have the subject maybe leading the photographer through the scene and looking back. That's kind of a classic shot. Or expressing some sort of emotion like, wow, I'm here. Or they'll be jumping or something. And it just kind of needs something more than just like, oh, I'm standing here.
Wow, I'm here. I thought her bag kind of told that story. I feel like they're going shopping in this exciting place. I'm going to ask Matt how he feels about this one first.
Okay, well, give it 5 seconds because I don't have a clear shot yet.
Okay, so I'll ask me how I feel about this first. I think that is this
the processing is overdone.
spot color?
If it is, why would you take the color out of the building?
Yeah, I think
maybe the whole sky's fake. The sky looks fake if it's not, just because it's been processed so much. Like look behind the trees down there in the lower right corner.
I think it's real, but just processed heavily. Sorry, Matt, we're doing some photo forensics here. What's your
Please
take?
do. What have you done to it? I can now almost see it. Have you brightened it up or anything?
Yeah, I added some color. So I just desaturated the color that I added. It looks like they took all of the color out of the building.
Well, the paint in places like Nepal, the stupas are often whitewashed, so it could be almost white.
But wouldn't it have a yellow?
Caught my eye on. Right?
Sorry, I was going to say, wouldn't it have a yellow cast from the sunset, though?
I think they wanted to crank the saturation up on the sky, and the building became too saturated, so they separated it from the background, and maybe even lowered the saturation on the building a little. I don't know.
Look, what I'm basically looking at here is a silhouette, and I can see what they were going for, and I actually think the sun's position worked quite well. It's really difficult when you've got the setting sun to figure out, should you obliterate it? Should you let it wrap around, trying to balance the exposure? I guess maybe they tried to push the exposure on the building and bring down the saturation on it to balance because it was so heavily backlit. But again, I can't see a clear load of this yet. But the top part of the very top part, it looks actually quite dark. So maybe the whatever treatment they did to the bottom didn't reach all the way to the top.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I think this building was a silhouette, and they raised the shadows so much that, and that's probably what kind of messed up the image quality and gave us this weird look.
But I like their composition. Yeah,
I like that too. Putting the sun right behind it. You could even go up to like f22 and get a cool starburst effect, maybe. I'm going to give this one a pick. Our first pick of the night. I love this shot. What do you think, Matt? It's just so lonely and sad. This feels like me. This could be a self-portrait.
Oh.
It looks peaceful and tranquil and beautiful.
Thank you, Matt.
I have to apologize to people who are submitting. I really am seeing just outlines of things, but it looks a little outcrop. I can see there's some different layers of colored water through the shot, and then the mountain horizon and the sky. It looks like it's been put together really nicely. Is it a full island? Yeah, they're palm trees, right?
Yes.
So it's probably a long lens taken from the next island.
Maybe they're on maybe they're from so high up. Tony, I'm so sorry that you feel so lonely. And Matt, I'm so sorry you can't see the pictures.
That sure looks like
I
Paris.
can see.
Oh, you can see that one. Okay.
Oh, it is Paris.
Can you see it?
I swear we've stayed in the same hotel room, but maybe every building in Paris looks exactly the same.
Oh, Matt froze. Let's just keep moving. Sorry, Paris person. I love the colors.
I think this one is so cool because it's little people for scale.
Yeah, I would have never guessed the scale of it without the people. So you added a very important element. It's really beautiful. I love the colors.
You get a pick, Mike.
How do you feel about it, Matt? Oh, wow.
Again, from what I can see, it's pretty. I wonder if that's Sharky James.
Oh, yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, I think, without the people, you have no sense. I haven't been actually to the poles yet, but when you see Antarctica shots without something in the foreground or even a glacier, you have no idea if the cliff face of ice was 5 foot, 10 foot, or 300 foot high. So nice position of the people there.
That's what I like too.
Yeah, and the lesson is if you have a scene without that, sometimes you just wait around or sometimes you send somebody to go into the scene, but take control of it. Maybe we should take a minute and ask some questions from Chris. Chris, do you have any questions for Matt?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Let's
good.
see here. First of all, there's been several questions along this, and that is for everybody, what is your favorite travel camera?
What's your favorite travel camera, Tony?
I would probably say the A7R3. I mean, I'm going to say the A7R3 with probably the 16 to 35. What about you, Matt?
I'm going to cop out and not give a straight answer, sorry. I've been giving this a lot of thought recently, and I'm actually putting together something about travel photography whilst I'm here. And it depends what you mean by travel photography. For a lot of people, travel photography means documentary photography of a place or a festival. Travel can also be wildlife or cityscapes or landscapes or underwater photography. So I'm in a really lucky situation where if I'm going to shoot in a market, then I can take a small, a mirrorless camera or a rangefinder. If I'm going to do, shoot and I have the opportunity to take lights along, then I could take a larger format camera. So on this trip, I've got a mirrorless camera, a rangefinder, and an A7 III. Yeah, that's not really helpful to people. Sorry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It depends on what you're shooting.
Just bring everything.
For an all-around camera, I always bring a D850. So
I mean, just look at that shot and the last one of the monks. The equipment I would take to those two situations would be completely different.
yeah.
And that kind of ties in with a follow-up question here, and that is, Matt, how do you define the whole concept of travel photography, or is it depending on who's doing the shooting?
Yeah, I don't know that there is one or really needs to be. It's something you need to think about. If you say, okay, I'm going to Texas and I'm going to do travel photography, more important is what are the kind of things you're going to see? How do you like to shoot? And what do you want to do with it in the end? Another thing is, what's the final use of the pictures? So and not throwing shade, but if they're just going on Facebook, it doesn't matter too much what your resolution is. If you're shooting because you want to put together a book or an exhibition, it really does start to matter, those kind of considerations. If you're going to be hiking, like in the photo after this one, how fit are you, and do you want to be carrying, a D5 with you, or would taking a little X-T30 be a smarter option? For something like this, if I know I'm going to be shooting in temples, I would want something small, light, discreet, but also that can handle the ISO.
I think a lot of it has to do with whether you, as you mentioned, whether you're trying to document your travels or if you just want a good camera to travel with. Two completely different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, Chris?
There is a good question here. Well, there's a lot of gear questions, so I'm trying to skip over those. Matt, Nick Gaspard wants to know, do you guys, or do Tony and Chelsea, or does Matt have any travel plans for Europe upcoming?
How about you, Matt? Are you going to Europe anytime?
Well, I was in Copenhagen in January, so I'm counting that one. I will be back to Iceland this year, to London at some point. I'm just figuring out I'll be going to Iceland to run a tour, most likely in September. I'm still figuring out I'm likely to do lighting workshops in Singapore, London, and New York this year, but I haven't figured out the dates just yet. Can I give another plug? You'll find all of that at mattgranger.com/workshop.
That's it. Too many plugs.
I'm so glad you're plugging stuff, and I was worried that you didn't know what Europe was. Start going on about Iceland and Singapore. It's like, oh, Matt doesn't know anything about geography.
Well, we all know that about Matt. I don't know why you had to bring it up like that. He travels to try to learn, and I respect it. We are
through in Texas just for you, you jerk.
Just for me.
We would like to go to Iceland
go
as
to
well. I think we're going to go this year.
Okay, good.
But I guess that's not Europe like that guy asked. But then I thought it was Europe because Matt said it was.
I know. Don't listen to Matt, kids. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
My mother always told me to never talk to Australians.
Here's a beautiful photo from Sean Hugh. We have like front to back sharpness here. In fact, it's taken an F11, but it's so sharp front to back that I wouldn't be surprised if it's stacked or something.
Tilt shift.
What do you think, Matt?
She said tilt shift.
Oh, tilt shift? 16 to 35 f2.8 GM.
Okay, well,
I had that information.
Yes,
So.
damn. I'm sorry, I can't see the detail to see that it's fully sharp. The mountain range looks great. I love the ice and the snow. I don't know, the grass in the foreground. I feel like often people who are shooting landscapes and have been now it's loaded and have been told you need a foreground, middle ground, and background in a shot. So there's always a rock or a piece of wood or a knoll or something right on the edge of frame. I don't think every shot needs to have all three layers to it. I think the prettiest part of the shot would be if that snowdrift was what led us in from the bottom left corner.
Yeah, that's a really good point, that sometimes people are more inclined to follow the rules than they should be, and maybe we should think about that as educators. Just sometimes people latch onto the stuff that you tell them. That's my dog freaking out. I'm sorry.
Oh, hi,
Pixel.
She's just trying to make the rug right.
Pixel. Come here.
I cropped it. Matt, is this kind of what you were talking about?
Yeah,
that's
you'd
way
probably
better.
need to move, take a few steps forward and to the right in the position, so
Yeah.
then you could have that nice smooth fall off of snow just hitting the bottom left corner of the frame.
I think it's
I mean,
beautiful.
I like the shot.
Oh yeah, I'm giving it a pick. I think it's very beautiful. I love the black sand with the contrast with the yellow grasses. Really pretty. It's so beautiful.
Nice one, Sean.
Watch the fringing, Sean.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Sean.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're
Sean.
dead to us,
I
Sean.
like
You
this
sent
one
in more
much
than one
better.
picture.
Well, wait a minute.
No,
now.
don't look at his multiple pictures. He's dead to us.
Well, I'm calling his mom, and he will be in trouble. But I like this picture much better. What do you think, Matt? You like this one better, don't you? Yes, I do.
That central mound, every time I'd pano it. I do like the perspective on the mountain, though.
You were right. Thank you. Joshua tree.
Yeah, but it's just a picture of a Joshua tree, right? It needs something. Like, stay there and put star trails behind it, or put your llama in front of it or something.
Yama.
Yama.
Plebeian. He's drinking his juice.
It's not juice, though. Matt literally has to have a can for air because he's 2.5 miles up in the sky.
Yeah, but also his feed,
Plus
his
5
feed
foot,
just glitched
10
and
inches.
gave him a mustache that historically is not acceptable.
Oh, I get that a lot. I'm patchy on the side. So if in the wrong light, like 1 in 10 videos, someone makes no one ever goes to, what's his name? That little side.
Charlie Chan or
Chaplin.
Yeah,
Chaplin,
straight to the other guy.
I mean,
the other guy. He did do a little bit more
Yeah.
historically.
Sean, okay, your pictures are great, but one
Are you-
photo.
I told you. He's dead to us. You're dead to us, Sean.
Here's a moment. Matthew, is this moment touching your heart?
I really like it. I'm biased. I always find if I'm trying to document a place that people are what brings life to it. So, I mean, tourists are one thing, but seeing locals just do whatever they do in a place is interesting. And because I don't know about you guys, I don't know what's going on here. Is it a funeral rite, or are they dyeing fabric, or are they washing something? It's all of their outfits are different colors, all of their attention's in the same place. Your eye kind of goes around, and there's a lot to take in, and it raises lots of questions. I really like it.
I like it too. I wish I could see a little more of their faces.
Yeah, but it's a good, compelling shot.
Yeah.
This is tough. I mean, it is a waterfall. You kind of have the tree going right in front of where the waterfall is.
What if we went black and white to just focus on the waterfall? But then it's dead center. It lacks movement somehow.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Nat? Tell me. Give me your
Honestly, if it
perfection.
wasn't for that branch, I really like it.
This branch ruins it for you?
Yeah, but I'm the kind of bad guy who would just go down and try and move the branch
That's awful.
or
You are a bad guy.
break it.
You would break it. Ooh, I'm feeling this. It's from an iPhone.
Yeah, I kind of like this picture too. The background is pretty. Yeah, zoom in. Is that background real? Okay. Wait.
Ooh.
What's going on up there?
Uh-oh.
And you guys are detectives.
Are we really? I
They
sense
did a
another
good job
show.
of getting it symmetrical, that's for sure.
Very cool, though.
Maybe we
Let's just
should
move
take
on.
a second and look at a portfolio.
Maybe, yes, but
The Grand Canyon. This cracks me up. This is like, I think everybody who's ever traveled can
Great
relate to
shot.
this. You get a pick. I love the negative space here. The Grand Canyon looks wonderful today. Oh, it's snow. I couldn't even tell. You're right.
okay.
I'll flip over and take a look at a portfolio. Maybe you have another question for us, Chris. Let's see what else we got here.
Any questions, Chris? Ask Matt something really shocking.
Please
Actually-
do. I'm kind of only half here, so I'll answer it.
Got a question and an invitation. Tony, Matt, and Chelsea, this is from Randall Hadid. You must come down to Trinidad and Tobago. We have an amazing birding, and you can stay at our estate in the mountains overlooking the Caribbean Sea.
Done.
Yeah, when are we going?
Okay.
Okay, they're going to have us there with Matt for about 2.5 minutes and then be like, okay, bye, leave. You're too loud.
Wow, your mother certainly rubbed off on you. Don't talk to Australians.
Matt, you know we get rowdy. You know it.
You don't even have a drink. That's just mean-spirited.
Well, you're drinking Inca Cola and oxygen.
The best of the Andes can get.
Yeah, but what's he spike that oxygen with?
That's true. We don't know.
I know the color is kind of it's a bit,
Questionable. It's a little
you know.
Yamapi. Okay. Can we get another question, Chris? Because I appreciate that man's offer, but I think he'd be upset if we went.
Right now. Yeah. There's a generic gear question here. And Matt, specifically to you, where do you think APS-C is going? Will it stick around, or is full frame getting inexpensive enough now where
I just think
it might fade away?
it's questions.
Oh, I love a generic gear question. What's the cheapest full frame camera out there?
I don't know. What is it? Do you know?
$16, $17, $1,800. That's not cheap to most people.
No.
I mean, if I think about where I walked around today, I didn't see a full frame camera anywhere. I didn't see an iPhone in a local's hand. It's just, it may not, if you go to New York or LA or Sydney or wherever, yeah, the percentage of full frames I'm sure is going to keep going up. But no, I don't think APS-C is just going to suddenly die out. I don't think what we as privileged shooters with a bit of money and a lot of cameras consider as entry level, that's still a huge investment for most of the people in the world.
My counterpoint to that is that most people I talk to want a $500 camera. That's when I talk to someone, I say, how much can you spend on a camera? They say $500. And I say, you're probably not going to get a camera better than your phone for $500. And most people just stick with their phone. And you're seeing that if you look up sales, that whole point and shoot market is drying up. A lot of the lower end cameras are drying up. So I still wonder if they'll be able to survive, if those less expensive cameras will survive as camera phones get better. I mean, I'm not saying the need for them will go away, but they might go away because something else is like consuming those sales.
And the only company making APS-C now is really Fuji. Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, Sony are all focusing on full frame. I mean, Sony released one APS-C camera, but they haven't released any APS-C lenses in forever. Like, all the energy is going into full frame.
But I think it's going to take a while.
I think it's more like, are you shooting Fuji or something else? Because I think it's going to be like Fuji and everybody else in full frame. That's just my take on it. But I do, like, Fuji's the only one who's going to be making $600 cameras, you know? Speaking of, we did have some photo news. But let's take a look at a portfolio. First, let's click on the About page, and this is Danielle.
Hey.
He's got his portfolio divided into black and white and color. And so here we see like very kind of candid street photography. Let me see if I can scale this back a little bit.
Can you see that okay, Matt?
I can. Is most of the blacks quite muted?
Yes,
Right.
that is accurate. they have a style. They're sticking to the style. I appreciate that. I have never really liked the scattered layout of a website, though. I think it's very difficult to appreciate one photo at a time. Anyone else have an opinion on that? Is that just me, or do you also find that a little bit distracting?
I think it's okay.
Does Squarespace give you, if for this kind of a layout, they would have been able to choose exactly which picture they want where?
Yes.
Yeah, though it will lay out differently depending on like desktop or mobile, just because it would have to. Well, I think there are a lot of good pictures here. My gripe with it is it doesn't feel cohesive in any way, other than everything being black and white. I don't see a lot of connections between the photos here. In particular, like this seems like a studio portrait. I think this one might work, but this one just feels completely out of place. Otherwise, it's mostly kind of street photography. And like here too, this just doesn't fit in with everything else. And also the picture of the motorcycle. But I think maybe if you get rid of those photos and maybe this last one, then maybe we'd have a more cohesive set of, street photography as opposed to just black and white photography.
Let's go to About and see if they're trying to sell it. What their objective?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Is their goal to just share their work, or are they trying to get clients? Are they trying to share it? Because
Exactly.
for some people, I'm sure having a portfolio is just that they want to show their mates, look what I've taken.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of showing his work. He's linking over to Instagram.
No, he has a booking.
Oh,
link.
he does have a booking page. Okay.
I take
Okay.
on all sorts of different bookings, so feel free to send me a message and we can have a chat about your needs. So I think you have
Good About page. I like the photo there.
I think you have a lot of nice pictures, but your first page that we landed on, like, I don't see a lot of things where I would hire you. So this first picture, not something where I'd think, oh, I should hire him to do a picture like that. But you do have some nice portraits, so maybe I'd put those first or put them in their own category. What are your feelings on that, Matt? Do you have them?
That's my face. Okay, you've gone to me, sir. I didn't hear you. So I don't know what you guys think about having a lot of different categories. Can you actually hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you really well. You sound nice and clear.
I'm not robot-y.
You're not robot-y at all. You just sound like a normal Matt.
Okay. Whiny self. Yeah, if you're looking to get clients, then whether you want to keep it black and white and color separated or not, a good idea would be to do it by maybe not genre, but at least by what people might be looking to hire you for. So street is street. It's not really something that leads to a lot of bookings, but portraits or lifestyle or social media or whatever the different things you're looking to get booked for, it might be worth making those your categories.
I think that's great advice. That's what I was thinking. And I totally agree with you, other than your choice in colas.
I like the Inca Cola. It tastes like bubble
If it
gum.
helps, it is made by Coca-Cola.
Oh,
Are you serious?
That's such a bummer.
That actually totally ruins it.
Dang.
How did that happen? So, to summarize our feedback, I think we instead of dividing it between black and white and color, maybe divide it by topic.
Portraits, weddings.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Dogs that talk.
Let's see what they had to say about Squarespace. Daniel says, I love Squarespace for its beautiful, easy to use layouts. I often find myself in a coffee shop making a few quick edits to my website. I'm in the process of making a shop page to sell prints from an exhibition I'm currently showing, and Squarespace have made the e-commerce side so easy. Huge fan of you guys' show. You have been instrumental in changing my career path drastically. So thank you. Dang, Daniel, that was nice to both us and Squarespace. I appreciate that. If you want your own awesome Squarespace portfolio, head to squarespace.com/Tony. Get a 14-day free trial, no credit card required. If you love it, you can use the coupon code Tony and it will save you 10% off. Thank you, Squarespace. Oh, I forgot we never covered our bit of photo news. There are rumors about the Fujifilm X-T30. The rumors are saying that it's 26 megapixels, of course, APS-C, and that it's going to have 30 frames per second with the electronic shutter. So it sounds like they've taken sort of the best of the X-T3 and put it in a less expensive package. I think the X-T20 right now, the predecessor, sells for like $600 body. So it's like a lower end version of the X-T3, but I was like, the X-T30 is kind of my go-to camera for people's first camera recommendations if they're looking for like a kit in the $700, $800 price range. Like, I like it. It's fun to use. It creates good images. It works pretty well. If they up the focusing system a little bit, that'd be great.
You a Fuji guy, Matt? Do you like shooting with Fuji?
Yeah, I like it. I'm bored to death of rumors, though.
Well, I'm so sorry. Sit tight because we've got one more.
The other one is the Canon EOS
Great, we killed him.
RP.
Great.
Oh, we killed Matt. We just have to move on. It's time, you know. We took our time to mourn.
Yeah, it was hard for me, but I got through it.
The rumors are saying that this is going to be another full frame camera, but positioned below the EOS R that we launched last year. It'll have a lower megapixel sensor, 26 megapixels, probably like what's in the 60 Mark II. And overall, it looks like it's going to be substantially smaller. It'll continue to have that flip forward screen that a lot of us love. So I think that's exciting. To me, if this is true, then it sounds like Canon is trying to address lower end of the market, which is still a lot of money for a camera, but they're trying to address it not with APS-C cameras, but with less expensive full frame cameras. So potentially good news. I think there might just not save them that much money to put in a smaller sensor. We can now go look at some more pictures.
Back to pictures. Matt,
Maybe
can
I'll
I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite place to shoot? Like a favorite country that you go to over and over again?
Oh,
Is
that's
it Bhutan?
tough. It is probably the ones that I run the tours to. I set them up because I love going. The place that I just love traveling to and exploring and being, it would be Bhutan would be my number one in terms of like how rich the photography is. Personally, I still really love Iceland. It's true, it is really oversaturated and everyone has basically been there, and you know, it's hard to find unseen sites now, but the weather changes every 15 seconds, so there's still always new shots to get.
What draws you to?
Mongolia is somewhere really distinct. What?
One thing that I really love is that when you are preparing for your tours, you really go to that place and get to know it. And I know you've been to Bhutan so many times. You do your tours there too, or is that just a place that you go for yourself?
No, I run tours there. I went twice before I ran a tour, and I think I've run 4 or 5 tours. I even sponsor a kid over there now, and yeah, my guide is a really close friend now.
Oh, that's really nice.
I would like to go on Matt's tours. I know that might be awkward.
I know, but he's probably going to charge us double.
You could wear a disguise.
That's true. We can sign up under someone else's name. What do you think of this picture, Matt? Can you see it? That's the first question.
I can see enough.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty recognizable icon, right?
Yeah.
From what I can see, it seems like a lovely shot. The depth, it looks like there's some lens flare. It hasn't loaded all the way. For someone of faith or someone who this location had special meaning, I'm sure it means even more with the rising sun and the cross. I think the framing works nicely. Yeah, I mean, I probably would take this shot myself, even though it's not really my main gig, my main thing to shoot this kind of thing. But yeah, it looks like you're bringing up the highlights. I can't really see how that balance is on my screen, but I really like it. Nice one, Fred.
I like
Where
the
is
colors.
Symes?
I was just trying to bring out the shape of the crucifix a little bit better because it was really disappearing into the mountain. So think about dodging and burning just to provide a little more contrast for your main subject there. But good compositional balance. Maybe even just crouching down a little bit lower. Let's see what else we got here.
I love the colors. Okay.
Okay, you want to go back to that?
I think this one's beautiful. I love the muted tones.
I need it to be a little more obvious. Like, what is that?
So American.
Oh, it's like a big net or something.
Subtlety.
Oh, and there's a person there. But yeah, I'm just saying I want the subject
That's
to be
not a person. That's a monkey.
Okay, but what I'm saying is I didn't
know
even
if it's a
see
monkey.
it at first. I want this to be a little bit more prominent. So what you do is you're in this quiet scene in India. You fire up your Phantom drone and buzz that thing right out next to that monkey. Get it in the foreground. And if it moves, you chase it.
I don't know if it might be a cat. Don't you think Tony was wrong to say all that, Matt? I mean, we don't know if Samuel has a drone. I just feel like that's rude.
I'm just glad to be a spectator on this. I can see the beautiful tones in the foreground, but I do think it's funny. Sometimes just the muted tone.
Oh no, you froze. I think what he was going to say.
Talk about where's the interest. Am I a robot?
Yeah, you're kind of a robot. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, look, it's you.
What is this little guy here? Look, that's what I want to see.
Me.
Look at that little bird.
That's me. It's me and Matt.
I think if you're going to take a picture of somebody else's art, you need to add something a little more to it.
I'm going to just cruise through these photos
Yeah,
because
please do.
I don't want to upset Matt because when he gets angry at me, it's just so frightening. I love this picture. What do you think? Oh, so scared.
I want a car or something here. Maybe like a long exposure of a car sort of motion, caught in motion. But we're above the clouds.
I want a
very
Yamaha.
cool scene. Could probably crank up the vibrance, get a little more color in there.
Triple rainbow.
It's all about the triple rainbow. What do you
One trick
want,
you can
Matt?
do is just drag clarity and vibrance just all the way to the right, and then.
Are you ever going to ask Matt his feelings or? Whoa.
Well, Matt's feelings are in a different time zone, so.
What?
I'm in the same time zone.
Tony, what did you just do to this picture?
I made a joke and nobody was even paying attention. I just suggested dragging the clarity and vibrance all the way to the right, but I did think it needed a little punch up in this case. You see a lot of pictures that are punched up too far, and this one was under punched.
Below the belt.
Ooh, this is neat.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a pick. Awesome shot, John. I really like that.
Matt, do you like
That's
it?
a painting of a kid with a bike parked in front of it.
Yes.
So
Matt's
I'd
narrating
say-
the show for blind folk.
I really apologize. I can't load the chat to get involved, and it takes 10 seconds to see the picture. I want to engage, but just making sure it's not a split explosion with half of the kid. And see, weathered walls. Awesome. Nice work, John.
Good job, John. Matt's impressed. Okay. Oh,
Oh,
Dang.
more
Yama.
Yamas.
I know what I'm having for dinner.
Matt,
It's pretty delicious, right?
it's so delicious.
I was so mad when I
So
came back to the
lean.
States and you just can't get it anymore.
He tried
Don't
to,
bring you some.
you're going to bring us some? They're too
Right.
cute. They're so cute.
Cute
Okay.
equals tender.
Do you want to take another question and then get out of here? We have to celebrate Chinese New Year's today, Chelsea.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
Don't have far today.
Let's let Matt. Oh, we can't. Sorry. I keep forgetting you
What?
can't see right away. I was going to let you choose the next one. Let's just.
Matt,
That one. Oh, wait, that's Chris.
Oh,
a question for you.
Yeah.
Do any of you have a dream destination that is on your bucket list that you have not been to yet?
I love that.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Matt, how about you?
I've also not been to New Zealand. We can go there
What?
together. I want to go New Zealand,
Matt, you're
All
from
right.
Australia.
Africa, about 45 states in America still.
Mm.
I want
No.
to go to Chile.
Okay, yeah, Chile.
I'd like to learn what is technically defined as Europe. And a long
Technically.
time in the future, once the regime is dismantled, I am curious to see North Korea, but not before.
North Korea. Why not?
Yeah, I would be curious about that too. It is kind of.
Yeah,
it seems
talk
like
about
it's been a frozen
unphotographed.
time.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
You really there's no way you could go to North Korea now and not get in trouble, Matt. Do you agree with my assessment of that?
You think he wouldn't blend in with the locals well?
I can see him taking home a poster like that kid going to jail. He would take pictures.
That's why I haven't gone yet.
Oh. This is
Yeah,
really
that's really beautiful.
okay. You win.
That's pretty.
Great shot.
I mean, it's kind of, I don't know if people would take this as a compliment, but that will sell as a postcard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would clone out that crane over on the left.
Broke all those branches and just held them in though.
Oh, construction crane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you want to
Matt.
thank our sponsor and get out of here?
I want to thank Matt first because he's put up with a lot. We were a bit like wrangling cats today, and I apologize, but you were a great guest with very good feedback.
If you want Matt to take you on a photo tour in March, you can go to mattgranger.com/Japan, or
Yes.
you can go to Laos, mattgranger.com/Laos, and there's Matt Granger on some ice.
Someone
and
threw him on the ice.
That was the last tour in Mongolia. That's Ashol Pan, the first eagle huntress. She's
Wow.
kind of a big deal.
She's cool.
Wow.
That's my favorite picture of you, by the way.
I was stuck.
Were you really stuck?
I'm very warm-blooded.
Okay. Well, I'm
That's
just going to
a
leave
weird
that
way to
there.
end.
That's a little too personal. And I hope you'll come back. Thank you, Justin, for somehow making all this work. Thank you,
Sure.
Chris, for providing all of those great questions. And
You bet.
whoa, what just happened? All right, things are getting
He's really getting dramatic with the zoom effects.
things are getting real weird around here.
He's got
so
Kubrick running his webcam now.
Thank you, Squarespace, for making this show possible, guys. Why haven't you tried it yet? We'll stop talking about it if you all try it. Go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the offer code Tony to get 10% off.
Thanks. See you next week where the theme is mood, which could be scary or romantic. A nice try, Matt. You'll never be Chris.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Having me on, guys.
We're really
New
good
Year.
at ending videos.
That is all.
Like an SNL skit. Awkward.
That is all.
Slowly